What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, back with the Destiny 2 video, and I'm just back to do a little temperature check. See how you guys are doing, how things are in the Destiny world. Me, personally, things are great. I played the hell out of Mario Kart World when it dropped, and I've just went back to Clair Obscur Expedition 33 to 100% the game. And I mean, I did everything. Every boss, I got every weapon, every outfit, every tint, every picto. I experienced all that game had to offer. In fact, I was actually streaming my fight against the final endgame boss when Bungie was doing a reveal stream for the new Edge of Fate DLC, and that is sort of the genesis for this video. The last time I played was my stream with Choblo, but I've effectively been done with the game since the end of February. I never finished Act 3, and I've happily moved on from the game. I will come back with 2 build videos when Edge of Fate drops because I do have some unfinished business, a couple builds that I wanted to share with the community before I completely burnt out, so definitely look forward to that. But to preemptively answer y'all's questions, I won't be buying Edge of Fate, and I have no real plans to play it other than to get the footage for those build videos when the expansion launches. And truth be told, from the sentiment I'm seeing online, I think my decision's a good one. And before you haters jump to the comment section or roast me for my low views, you have to understand something. I make videos that I care about, that I'm passionate about. I don't do it for the algorithm. I had the same mindset with D2, and I was fortunate enough to grow a following of like-minded people over our shared love for Destiny 2 endgame content. It takes a lot of time and effort to grow a YouTube channel. I had low views for like 3 years on Destiny as well. It's just people didn't know who I was, so they didn't care because I had no audience. So roast me all you like if you want, but I'm proud of the videos I make, and I'll continue to make videos that bring me joy, and doing things I enjoy. When you're watching this video, I'll probably be streaming Death Stranding 2 at It'sTizzle7 on Twitch, and when Edge of Fate drops, I'll be grinding away on Donkey Kong Bonanza that weekend. Maybe I'll even tune into the Day 1 raid race if I feel like it. But no, I'm totally content with my decision. I don't like making negative content, I like doing things that make me happy, which is why I moved on from Destiny. It was a fun run while it lasted, and I'm ready for the next chapter. Also, for my diehard supporters, I've finally finished the backyard completely, and I've been running and lifting a lot, and I've gotten in awesome shape for the summer. So suffice to say, things in my world are great, but in the Destiny world, it seems not so much. Tuesday night, I went on Twitter, and you have to understand something. Even though I don't watch Destiny YouTube or play the game anymore, my entire Twitter algorithm and presence was based on D2. So when big news drops, my whole feed is Twitter folks who I follow and interact with. So naturally, I wanted to read some tweets and check in on the community I was once a proud member of. And oh boy, people don't seem too pleased. And that is the reason for this video. I have one broad topic that I want to talk about, and that is that you can't please everyone, so don't even try. And I think that's Bungie's biggest mistake. They try to please everyone and end up pleasing no one, and that just results in a mess of a game. I recently watched SkillUp's review, or rather deep dive into the making of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and one thing that is abundantly clear from that video is how much passion those folks had to make the game that they want to play. They liked RPGs, but they also liked games like Sekiro, so they blended it into one beautiful tapestry to create a truly unique game. But the genesis for that game was passion, to create a world and game style that they would want to play. And it popped off and was a tremendous success. And then I was also listening to the Friends Per Second podcast yesterday, and they had on the man who created PUBG, which went on to basically popularize a whole genre of games in Battle Royale. And after the massive success of PUBG, every publisher and their dog was trying to capitalize on the trend. But when speaking with Ben Green, the reason he made that game wasn't by trying to capitalize on trends or to create a new trend. He just wanted to make a game that he thought would be fun. Anyways, I highly recommend you check out those videos because they're great. And that brings us to Bungie. It seems that they are just trying to chase trends. They are no longer the innovator that they once were. Fortnite creates battle passes, a year or so later, we have seasons in Destiny. This is just one example, but you can point to many others. But what I want to talk about mostly is responding to player feedback. Again, you can never please anyone, so you may as well just make what you think would be cool. Are set bonuses cool? Fuck yeah. I wish we had them ages ago in Destiny. The tiered weapon system on its own could be decent as well. But I think the problem that they have is an implementation problem. How sick would it be if you could just play Destiny and randomly get a tier 5 armor piece to drop, or a tier 5 weapon? It would bring back the glory days of D1 where you had people freaking out over a Galahorn drop. You would get hype back in the game. People's arguments for the system are this: well, you begged for loot to matter, now it does. But it also doesn't. Why? Because of the main reason I left Destiny: time gating. The loot will matter, but only temporarily, so it dampens the hype. And I know all gear has been soft sunsetted or power crept for all of Destiny's lifespan, but at the time when you got that Recluse or Not Forgotten or Mountaintop, you didn't know it had an expiry date, you just knew it was fucking awesome right now, and that's all that mattered. Sure, in a future patch update it would get nerfed, but that's a risk in a live service game, and that's why we keep our vaults full to the brim. But with this new system, they are putting an expiry date on it from the day you get it. And why are they doing this? Because the game doesn't offer enough real incentive to play, so they are just adding more and more artificial barriers to keep you on the never-ending loot treadmill. For some, this is great, but for others, I think it's just a feels bad moment, knowing that the loot you get will soon be outdated. And speaking of that expiry date, the next problem again comes down to time gating. Now, forgive me if I'm off base, as I haven't read a twit in months, and I really only know things based off Twitter discourse, but it seems to me you can't even earn these tier 5s until later in a season. So this is negative in two ways. It kills the hype to grind when the content is fresh and new and exciting, and then on the other end, when you finally can get tier 5s and make an awesome build, now it's even later in the season. So you've already done all the new content that the Edge of Fate has to offer, but now you have to re-grind stuff you don't necessarily want to play for slightly better loot. But now when you get that better loot, the duration that you get to use and enjoy it is even less than it would have been if you could grind it right when the expansion dropped. I made a video recently saying that the best way to play Destiny is to just wait, and they keep proving me right. So my view of it is this. Bungie heard players want loot to matter, so they made it tiered so that the higher tier stuff was better, which is a good response. But then, they did what Bungie always does and took one step forward and 2 steps back. They limited when and how you can grind that loot. Again, like I said at the start of the video, imagine if you were doing a solo Lost Sector or GM with the buddies, and you randomly got a tier 5 drop out of nowhere. It would be fun and unexpected. But no, you have to play what Bungie tells you and when they tell you. You can get this new loot, but you have to play XYZ event, and you have to wait till halfway through a season to get it. Enjoy! It always comes down to bullshit time gating. Instead of just letting people play the game on their time, they have to dictate when and how you play. And it's funny, because I think I heard DMG talk about player agency in the reveal stream. What a crock of shit. This game has the least agency I've ever seen. Want to grind Master Vault of Glass? Okay, you gotta wait 8 weeks. Well, I think they reduced it down to 4, but still, why can't I grind it whenever the hell I want? Want this Nightfall weapon? Nope, gotta wait 6 weeks for it to be in rotation, even though we have an attunement system in the game. I bought and played the fuck out of Mario Kart World. I grinded it for like 40 hours in a week, and since then, I haven't touched it. But you know what? I walked away feeling very happy with my time with it. I grinded every cup on every CC the day it came out in an 11-hour stream. I love being able to grind how and when I want. Same with Clair Obscure. That game gives you a ton of agency. The build crafting is immense, and you can come up with so many cool things. But with Bungie, they don't want you to grind all at once and walk away. No, they live and die by their weekly active user metrics. And funnily enough, it's that same design philosophy that has people leaving the game for good and not wanting to come back because they know how unrewarding it is to play, rather than being able to experience all the game has to offer and coming back whenever they please to play more fun stuff. Even me, I'd love to come back to do a dungeon with my friends or guild Conqueror again, but I legit don't think I can get Conqueror because my light level will be too low and I won't have the artifact because I have no desire to play anything else to level up an arbitrary number so that I can play the stuff I actually enjoy. And then even if I could, I may want to use a certain build, and I heard they're also like featuring certain exotics now each season or something. I don't know, I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but again, this just shows how little they actually care about player agency. And I know they basically do this with the artifact already, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, the artifact already incentivizes certain builds. You don't need to do it to exotics too. Like, I will absolutely go back to play Clair Obscure for another playthrough to experience the story and make fun new builds. They don't have to entice me to do it. I will do it of my own free will because they made a game that is damn fun to play. On to the next topic, it again shows how out of touch the devs are. They heard, "We hear you guys like secrets," and then use that reasoning to not say what Enhanced Incandescent does? Like, bruh. The menu needs to explain what perks do. The Destiny Data Compendium was my best friend when I made content on the game because it actually gave values for things, and then I could use that to teach people. But the compendium's existence shouldn't even be a thing. Don't get me wrong, it's incredible and huge credit to the amazing community members that source all that info, but also, fuck Bungie. They already know all the values, they put it in twids and blog posts and patch updates regularly, but then in-game, nope, can't find it. It's like, no Bungie, we like secrets like stumbling upon the Shattered Throne for the first time, or the Whisper of the Worm mission, not hiding how a weapon perk works. How that made it all the way to be in the game is honestly concerning. To me, it illustrates two things. One, the devs are out of touch with what players actually want. Yes, they like secrets, but no, this is not a secret. This is just, I don't even know, it's just bafflingly stupid. The next concerning thing is it says that they suffer from toxic positivity that has been known to ruin games like Concord and Dragon Age the Veilguard. No one brave enough to stand up and say, no, that's actually a terrible idea, do better. Feedback is vitally important, but if people are too afraid to say something is dumb for fear of hurting someone's feelings, then the product is gonna come out as shit. So again, the fact that the perk debacle is even a thing is very concerning. Okay, one more point. I've long talked about wanting a so-called season of the quality of life. A season where they give little content but make good structural changes to the game, and Edge of Fate does seem to be that expansion. Who knows if it will launch buggy as fuck like Episodes did, but the systems changes that they are making are good for the long-term health of the game. It shakes things up. Datto has long said, I need new Destiny, not more Destiny, and I think this is their attempt at that. Whether you think Matterspark is dope or ass is totally subjective, but one thing we can all agree on is it is unique in the world of Destiny. Whole systems changes to how weapons and armor work, you don't get much more game-changing than that. So I gotta give Bungie credit for trying something new. Whether it is great or sucks remains to be seen, and different people will have different opinions, but at least they're trying. And lastly, to the people saying this reveal stream showed us nothing new, again, this is people talking out of both sides of their mouth. On the one hand, the community wants secrets and new stuff to discover, they want the mystery from Destiny back. But on the other hand, they bitch and moan that every single feature of the new expansion hasn't been shown. Personally, I totally hate how they started bringing creators out and they would show off all the new exotics before the season even released. That was so shit. I loved hopping on day one for a new season. I'd pop all my bounties and get my artifact leveled and head straight into a Master Lost sector to get the new exotic and mess around with it. Now you can't even do that, and that was like the one thing I looked forward to in a new season, was testing out new exotics and new builds. Honestly, I think Edge of Fate will be pretty content light because the real content is all the quality of life and systems changes coming to the game. But also, maybe Bungie will surprise everyone. And honestly, I hope they do. I hope all the people complaining that we haven't seen much of Edge of Fate are discovering all these cool new secrets. And it's like, well yeah, you guys said you wanted mystery, so we didn't reveal too much because if we had, it would have killed the experience. I don't watch Marvel movies anymore, but one recently had the Red Hulk in it. And apparently they showed it in the damn trailer, so it just killed the hype when the moment happened in the movie. I was unspoiled on everything in Clair Obscur, so when I did get to experience what happened, it hit extra hard because I had no idea it was coming. So I guess my message is this: stop wanting to see everything that's coming because it just dilutes the experience. And to Bungie, stop trying to please everyone. Make the game that you want to make, the thing that you think will be cool. You can't please everyone, so don't even try. Anyways, that's it for the video. Like I said, I will be on Death Stranding and Donkey Kong for the next month or so come by Twitch and say hey. And if you're still here, I just want you to know that I do miss interacting with you all. I don't miss Destiny to be honest, but I do miss the community that I fostered, and I'm really proud of what we built and the good times that we had. I hope you're all doing well, and if you're still playing Destiny, I hope you have a ton of fun in Edge of Fate. Take it easy.